I'm Tina and I play video games. I wanted to do a video today talking a bit about Fallout 76 and my thoughts on it and how I feel about it as a game. This isn't a review, this is just how I feel about it as a Fallout fan and a longtime gamer. Before I get into it, I just wanted to let you know that I am a huge Fallout fan if you didn't know that. I've played hundreds of hours across 3-4 in New Vegas. I haven't really got the chance to play 1 or 2 though. It's hard to get them to run on modern hardware, but I do intend to play them when I'm able to get them to run reasonably stable so that I can actually experience it. I'm also not much of a multiplayer gamer, especially like this kind of open world RPG. I find them really stressful, so I usually just avoid it. So comparing 76 to the previous Fallout games and to other games that I've played, it's mostly based on my action RPG experience as a solo player, not so much on the multiplayer side. To start with, I don't hate it. I enjoy playing it when I'm playing it. I feel like it has a lot of potential that I think Bethesda just didn't take advantage of because they were just so rushed to try and max out their profit without enough consideration for the actual gameplay or the functionality of it as a piece of software. The first major issue I have with it is the instability. It is so incredibly unstable. It has improved a little bit since the beta and then the launch, but it still frequently crashes, hangs, and locks up on my PC. Every time this happens, I'm afraid of what it might be doing to my poor hardware. From my last few play sessions, it's not as bad as it was, but I'm still afraid to, tab out to deal with, a notification or whatever, or change what I'm doing without risking it just hanging again. And another problem that's come up recently that I didn't have before is that it has problems actually exiting the game at the end of a session. It freezes up a lot, and it gets stuck, and then sometimes I can't close it even with Alt F4 or Control Alt Delete. It won't close, which is really odd that that's a new issue I'm having. But all of this, it really hinders my enjoyment of the game. If it crashes, you never really know what happens to your character. You could be stuck in the world for a while, at risk of getting, murdered by a mob, or, having a rando PvP you to death. Or, there's, with all the glitches with the items and whatnot, you could, you might lose stuff that you worked really hard for. And that's really off-putting. I don't want to spend hours working in this thing to grow my base and level my character and then lose a bunch of it because the game freezes. And then the bugs. Oh man, the bugs. This game may even top Skyrim for the level of bugs it has. Some are minor, some are huge, but if you're going for immersion, they're really going to get in the way. I've had items, bodies, and aggro enemies just glitch into walls or fall through floors, so I can't do anything. I can't loot them. I can't kill them. They move in really strange ways. I've had them stutter across, an open space in front of me, or body parts glitch, or they move around in weird ways, and corpses spaz out more often than not. And it's funny, but it kind of wrecks the immersion, right? Often I have textures that don't load correctly or at all, so it looks terrible. And it just little things like that, it makes it so much harder to get lost in the world. The worst glitch so far, though, that I've come across is that a lot of times weapons won't hit enemies at all or properly. Melee and close range firearms are the worst for it, that it just, for whatever reason, you'll go through the thing and it won't hit it, even outside of VATS where you do have a chance to miss. There's no reason why you shouldn't be hitting these things. They're right in front of you, but for whatever reason, it doesn't register as a hit. And, it's not a big deal at lower levels like I am. Nothing is too hard. You can usually heal through an extended fight. But, the higher you get, the worse it's gonna be, and it's not gonna be a good time. fights, especially in this one, because it is tailored to multiplayer, they can be very large and drawn out when you're on your own, because there tends to be more mobs than you'd come across in a single area in other games, as long as you're carefully don't rush through where you accidentally end up with a huge mob following you. But like, I've walked into an area that looks like it should be empty, or one or two, and had like an entire fire team just like crush me and I wasn't expecting it. So having fights last even longer than they should can become a real problem when you just want to get through the fight alive. I can't comment so much on the PvP side of things, just because I'm not really a PvPer and I actively avoid it in Fallout 76. But playing in pacifist mode is actually, it's relatively functional. You don't take a lot of damage from most people when you get hit. You can't accidentally aggro someone with it, so that's really helpful, because early on, before I could turn it on, or like right around the time I could and I didn't realize I could, I accidentally aggroed a couple people without realizing it and got murdered, which I fully accept. That was my own damn fault. But the rest of the time, I'll come across, a person or a group of people, and once in a while, they'll do their thing, start pinging at me, and it does do damage, more damage than I think some people expect, especially when there is a large level imbalance. But generally, it's not that much damage, so I've been able to GTFO and escape with my life. So like, I'm fairly happy with that. I have heard there are issues with some of the endgame legendaries that are apparently capable of one-shotting someone, even in pacifist mode. I cannot confirm that. I hope it's not true. But at the same time, if you don't have pacifist mode on and somebody pings you and it doesn't do a lot of damage, and then you ping them back, a lot of those same endgame legendaries will one-shot you. So you do have to be extra careful, especially if you're, a slightly lower level in an area full of higher levels. Like, you really don't want to do that. But overall, it works reasonably well. It would be nice, though, like, for me personally, if pacifist mode just disabled all attacking damage. So like, if I have it on and I don't want to PvP, I don't think anyone else should be able to do damage to you. Like, honestly, I think it would be better if there was 0 damage in pacifist mode in either direction, so that you don't have to deal with it, and they will learn that you're not interested, and then people will move on. I think that could be like a really helpful like quality of life fix for it. But I mean, even as it is, it works fine for me as a solo player. I haven't really had any issues, so that makes me happy, because when it first was announced and then people were talking about the gameplay through the beta, I was concerned that PvP was going to be a problem. Like, I've played Rust and I really didn't like it. I don't like the like constant fear of getting murdered and losing hours and hours of work. So once it actually came out and you could see how the PvP worked, I was happy on that. Like, my fears on that were mostly sorted. So that is definitely a positive from my perspective. But honestly, if you've known me for any length of time, you know that I'm a forgiving entertainment consumer. If I enjoy something, no matter the quality of it, I'm happy. So for me, like, I enjoy it. I'm happy with that. But my big issue in like the whole umbrella of Fallout 76 is that I really feel like there's very little incentive to really do anything in the game. And like, I don't find myself getting sucked into it like I did with previous Fallout games, where I really, really wanted to dive into the world and play for hours. I can maybe get like an hour or two into a play session and then I'm bored. Like, I don't feel like there's a major, like, blinking star in the distance of what you're supposed to be working towards in this. Like, there's like, there are quest chains and I've been working through them, but like, they don't have that. I'm not really sure precisely how to describe it, but they don't feel important, if that makes any sense. Like, I previous games, even if you were off doing whatever random side quests or just messing around in the world, you had that solid objective for the overarching gameplay. You were looking for your father. You were trying to find your son. You're trying to figure out who killed you, who killed you, and why they killed you. Like, there's always something there to guide you, even if you're doing other things. With 76, I'm not really sure. Like, with the breadcrumb quest chains, there doesn't seem to be a real end goal, or at least one with enough incentive to really work towards. Like, people talk about endgame content, but I'm like looking for info, and I really don't know what that actually is. Like, am I just trying to find the Overseer? Am I supposed to rebuild civilization? Or is the point of it to just get strong enough to kill the queen over and over and over again to farm legendaries, and that's it? Like, I don't know what the point of any of the things that we do is beyond just looting and killing stuff. And for me, that isn't enough to push me forward towards the end. Like, I need direction, and I need to know what my end goal is. And without it, I just don't get wrapped up in it for hours like I used to with other games, and I get bored really quickly. Like, without, major factions, NPCs, and the big end goal, like, it honestly kind of feels like a shell of a Fallout title. Like, it could have been really, really good, but with all the controversy Bethesda has brought on itself surrounding it, with the bugs that weren't fixed, and, like, screwing people with, like, their special edition pre-order bonuses, and, like, unsecure servers, and, like, all of the other shenanigans, like, it's lacking. Like, it could have been really, really good, and there's potential. Like, I do enjoy playing it, but I'm disappointed that the devs very clearly put money over quality when producing it. I might just be too optimistic, but I really do hope that Bethesda might, lick its wounds and realize it fucked up, and maybe get their shit together and fix some of it. Like, there has been some patches coming that have, corrected some issues, or at least made them less of a problem, but there's duping, there's, like, weird glitches where you lose your kit, like, all kinds of stuff like that. And it's just, honestly, I really feel like if they, dig in and get at it, they could fix it, and it could be a really, really good game. It has potential. But, I mean, that could just be me being overly optimistic, and they may just do what so many other devs have done with crappy games, and plug their ears and pretend like they're not hearing it, and try to rake in as much cash before it dies. So I really, really hope that that is not the case. But overall, like, I will continue playing it, here and there. It's not sucking me in like Fallout 4, 3, or New Vegas did. Like, all of them just got me for days when I played them. But I will, this has taught me a lesson a little bit, and I think I will be a little bit more careful when choosing which games to buy and games to play. But I'm holding out hope. I am holding out hope that it will get better. So again, this wasn't a review. This is just me expressing some of my opinions and things that I've been thinking as I play through it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want more videos of this style, please let me know in the description below. If you have a particular game you'd like to hear my opinion on, absolutely let me know down below on Twitter or on Discord, and I will gladly give it a look for you. Thank you so much for following me. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Hit the alarm bell so that you know exactly when I upload new content every week. Make sure you follow my Twitter, join my Discord channel so you can talk to me quick and easy whenever you want. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye!